Morning everyone. Our topic for today of our reporting is about the compensation and benefits. So, we start with Fiona May Vela sa first topic po namin.
Good morning, everyone. May palakpas pala. Good morning, everyone. So, yung topic ko namin is about compensation and benefits. So, refers to the compensation or salary and other monetary and non-monetary benefits passed on by third employees. So, yung compensation, yung tumutukoy ito sa compensation and salary, salary, at saka yung yung mga financial value and yung non-monetary benefits na binibigay ng isang kumpanya sa mga employees. Next.
Ayun sa baba yung benefits.
Ayun pala. Sorry. So, ano nga ba yung pinagkaiba ng compensation and benefits? Compensation is the financial value that the team members receive in exchange for their services. So, yung compensation po, ito po yung financial value na kung saan natanggap ng mga employees kapalit ng kanilang pagsiservisyo sa kumpanya. And yung benefits naman po is ito po yung mga non-monetary. So hindi po siya syempre hindi siya pera, di ba? Yun po yung yung mga halimbawa po niyan is yung mga health insurance, equity, mga stock options. Ito po yung mga additional reward na ibinibigay ng kumpanya sa mga employees po nila. Next. Major factor in keeping skilled workers is an organization compensation package system. And kung ano yung mga ibinibigay ng company sa mga employees and bilang kapalit ng pagsiservice ng mga employees sa isang kumpanya or sa kumpanya nila. And a compensation is an organized system that provides monetary compensation.
Next na.
Wait lang po.
Ayan.
Compensation is an organized system that provides monetary compensation to employees in exchange for work performance. And while benefits refer to the form of compensation paid by employers over and above regular salary and wages. Ilang po.
Good morning everyone. Next point is about the wages and salaries. In setting wage and salary levels, a company must consider several factors. First, it must take into account how its competitors compensate their employees. A firm that pays less than its rival may soon find itself losing valuable personnel. So, kadalasan po nangyayari yung mga wages and salaries kapag mayroong competitors. For example, nangyari ito kunwari may magkatabing mga company. So, as an employer or mga business owner or a company owner, dapat kino-consider din po natin yung compensation benefits natin. Alamin natin yung kung paano magpasahod yung competitors in order for us na malaman natin na kunwari, for example, nalaman natin na mataas pala tayo magpasahod compare sa competitors. So, by that, malalaman natin yung edge na meron sila. Yun. The issues about compensation should be a top concern for a company. It must take into account how it wish to remunerate its employees and explaining to employees how salaries and wages are determined can make a productive workforce. Yun. So, meron pong pinagkaiba yung wages and salaries. According po sa internet na na-research ko. So, salaries is a fixed amount per pay period. Per day po yan, per day. Sabihin monthly. While the wages is paid by the hour or paid on a daily basis for the number of hours spent. For example, the amount of work done in hours. So, what are the difference between them? So, pag si salaries, yung compensation is based siya sa per day. Like for example, yung mga government employees, yung mga teachers, sinasahuran sila per month. While the wages, example nito, yung one of the complete example is yung mga indirect labor. Sabihin, binabayaran sila per hour. Example, yung mga arawan. For example, yung gas cutter, yan. Mabilis, yung wages is yung mabilis agad matapos yung services. Yun po. So, next is the incentives program. Siguro narinig na rin yung incentives, diba? The third incentives programs refers to an official monetary plan designed to motivate and recognize employees' performance. The use of the incentive programs increased in the 1980s largely because of concerns over productivity. So, yung incentives programs, one of the example nito is yung mga bonus. So, bakit ba mayroong incentive programs? Siyempre, hindi lang dapat tayo nagpapasahod ng yung mga basic salary. Dapat meron as an company owner or yung mga employer, dapat ino-consider din natin yung mga incentives programs para ma-motivate yung mga employee. So, alam natin na money, may kasabihan di ba nabasa ko sa Facebook, money can make your mental stable. So, yung sabihin, namomotivate talaga yung mga employee. Ibig sabihin yung mga employee, kahit sino mga trabaho man yan, hinahanap, may concern talaga tayo lagi sa mga bonus. Next, yan na nga, sales bonuses are typically incentives. Under such a program, employees who sell a certain number of amount of goods for the year receive a special payment. So yung sales bonuses yun siya. Like for example, may mga quota sa isang sales marketing. For example, yung mga seller, meron silang quota na dapat within this year quota ka. For example, meron silang dapat within this year magkaroon ka ng makasale ka ng products for almost $10,000. Ganyan. Tapos, by that, kapag abot mo yung quota na yun within 1 year, pero magkakaroon ka ng 10% discount according lang sa na-research ko. Then, 1% discount. Tapos, bawat employee, bawat seller na makakaabot sa quota na yun, makakatanggap sila ng 1,000 pesos. So, yan. Next po. Next, gain sharing incentives distribute bonuses to all employees in a company based on reduced costs from working more efficiently. So, example na is na Palliser Furniture LTD introduce a gain sharing plan that rewards employees for increasing production. Any profit from production above a certain level is split 50-50 between the company and the employees. So yung example ng Palliser Furniture is yung mga insurance benefits, retirement benefits, and vacation policy. Next is the profit sharing plans. Are based on a company profitability level. Profits acquired over and above a specific quota are shared with employees. So, example nito ng profit sharing plans sa isang company rin. Yung company owner o yung employer o yung company owner, they allow to share profits sa kanilang mga employees, sa mga eligible employees. Meron kasi tinatawag na company sharing pool. Kumbaga, kapag naabot na yung quota na yun, about sa profit sharing pool, pwede na sila pwede na i-share yung mga profits nila sa mga eligible employees lang. Yun. Up to, up to 25%.
Comparable word is a legal principle of our concept within that regardless of sex, employee shall be compensated equally for jobs involving the same degree of skill, responsibilities, and effort in the performance on the job. So, itong comparable word, itong regard to principle sa isang kumpanya na kahit ano man ang kasarian ng isang tao, babae ka man o lalaki, babae ka man o lalaki, pareho kayo ng situation sa isang trabaho, halimbawa, HR manager ka sa isang kumpanya, dalawa kayo doon, pareho yung sahod, yung degree, yung skill nyo, pareho yung trabaho nyo, so pareho din yung pareho din yung sweldo nyo sa company. So wala doon na sa dalawa na yon na maglamang yung o magsobra yung isang HR na store manager kanyang sahod, kundi parehas sila. Isa ito sa principle ng sa isang company. Benefits program. Growing part of nearly every firm's compensation and benefits program that is compensation higher than wage and salaries. Benefits now often compensate over half of firm's total compensation budget. Most companies are required by law to provide workers compensation, holiday pay, and insurance contribution. So ito yung benefit program habang sa isang company, kung magtatayo ng isang company, mayroon isang principal ay mayroon na sa isang company na magtatayo, mayroon na siyang isang benefits program maliban sa salaries, sa wage, sa kanilang mga sahod, ay mayroon silang iba pang benefits program na magkakaroon ng mga sabi na holiday pay, yung katulad ng
Double pay. Double
yung
pay.
sa mga bonus, Independence Day, may sila, may mga sahod sila. So hindi lang sa holiday pay, kundi obligation din ng sa most business, sa voluntary provide extended health, life, and disability insurance. So sa isang company, obligation din nila na sa book kasi obligation. So, obligation din ng isang manager sa company na yung kanyang mga employees na halimbawa kung mayroon silang tinatawag na SSS o mga para pag kung may maksidente man ng isang employees, mayroong sasagutin ng company yung
Sabi na lang po kayo, jaya na lang.
Yun, isang ano rin application din ng isang sa company na kailangan sa kanyang employee na kung ma-accidente man yung ano, mayroong insurance. So, they also allow employees to buy this stock payroll deduction at slightly discounted price. So, sa isang employee din na kung magbibili ng sa isang kumpanya, mayroon din silang discount. Uniforms began to provide vision, care, and dental benefits to employees, family, provide legal service to employees. So,
Galing!
So yun next na po, it's loss and wages and working hours and employees. The state shall afford protection to labor, promote full employment, ensure equal work opportunities regardless of sex, race, or creed, and regulate the relations between workers and employees. The state shall assure the rights of workers to self-organization, collective bargaining, security to secure, of tenure, and trust, and humane division of work. So ito naman yung batas po patungkol sa sa mga worker or sa mga employees po. Then the laws that concern the above provision are the Labor Code of the Philippines as amended and the other laws that are part of labor and social legislation in the country, daily laws related to the labor. So ito po yung mga example ng mga laws po na related sa work or ng mga employees. Presidential Decree number 928 as amended siya sa minimum wage. Tapos Presidential Decree number 851 amended naman siya sa 13th-month pay. Pati yung last one is the Presidential Decree number 525 amended naman siya sa mga emergency allowance, social security laws, like the Social Security laws as amended revised, Government Service Insurance Act, and the Philippine Medical Care Act as amended.
Be, palakas lang po. Hindi siya marinig.
Hindi ka marinig sa likod.
Hindi marinig sa video, kaya lakasin niya lang pa. Sige na, Be.
The right of worker in the Philippines with regard to its international economic, social, and cultural rights, speaks of the right of everyone to just and equitable position of work, its in particular, ang international pagdinagyan nila ng karapatan ng pagtutunan at ang pagdulay salita ng mga karapatan ng bawat isa sa katarungan at kaburadling kalagayan ng mga manggagawa. Kasama na ko rin. Airways 21.
consideration for work of equal value without disruption to the time. Women in particular in warranted condition of work not inferior to those employed by men with equality for equal work and are living for themselves and their families. So, makakaroon sa ulat pantay ng kabayaran para sa trabaho may katumbas na halaga na wala ng manguri na ang mga kababayan walang benepisyo. Ang trabaho ng hindi mas mawaka sa mga higit ang mga babae sa pantay ng silo para sa pantay na trabaho at isang disiplin mabuhay para sa kanilang sarili at sa kanilang pamilya.
Good morning, ito po ang aking worker in the Philippines with regular to rest working hours and a holiday. Yes, ma'am. Holidays. Dito naman ay may mga regular na rest day. Halimbawa na lang ng mga rest day na yung Independence Day at saka yung Bonifacio Day. So, dito na yung napapaloob sa regular rest day. Rest day work. The Philippines labor law provides for the following right. Considering that the normal hours of work shall not start exceed
Hours a day, the right not to be required to perform overtime work.
Karapatan din ng isang employee na hindi required ang pagtatrabaho ng overtime maliban na lang kung ito ay emergency or kinakailangan. The right to a meal period. Ito naman karapatan din ng isang employee na kumain sa tamang oras o oras ng pagkain nga. The right to night differential pay. Karapatan din ng isang employee na karapatan din ng isang employee na hindi magtrabaho during
Magkaroon ng night
magtrabaho
zero. Iba yung sa
karapatan din ng isang employee na hindi magtrabaho sa gabi. Magtrabaho sa gabi o night shift differential. The right to a weekly rest day. Ito naman karapatan din ng isang employee na hindi magtrabaho sa oras ng pahinga o rest day. The right not to be required to work on the rest day. Dito naman, karapatan din ng isang employee na hindi required ang pagtatrabaho during rest day. Except kung emergency man, and the right additional compensation for rest day or holiday. Ito naman, karapatan din ng isang employee na sahuran kung papasok man siya sa holiday, sa oras ng holiday na Dito naman, karapatan din ng isang employee na bayaran kung dahil estudyant, service, incentive leave. Karapatan din ng isang employee na magkaroon ng incentive leave.
Sino na?
So, yun, minimum wage law. Republic Act 602, known as the Minimum Wage Law, applies to employees in private enterprises, be they in agriculture, industry, or trade. Employees of religious, charitable, and educational organizations are also covered by the law. The law covers all employees in the government service, national, provincial, municipal, and city, or those in government-owned or controlled corporations. Ayun. So yun nga, nakapaloob sa Republic Act 602 yung minimum wage. These laws does not apply to farm, tenancy, household service, and employment and legal work, and the houses or in any cottage industry registered with the National Cottage Industries Development Authority. The minimum wage law is applicable to all employees except home workers engaged in legal work by hand, workers on farm tenancy, domestic servants, retail or service establishment that regularly employ not more than 5 employees, and a parenthesis, handicapped workers, students, and graduates of Nautica School. The objectives of this law are to maintain workers in a state of good health, efficiency, and general well-being, to serve as leverage for collecting wage bargaining, to afford fair return of investment of the investor, owner, or operator,
Next po is meal and rest period. So, ano po, bilang isang worker or isang employee, so karapatan mo pong ang tawag dito? Karapatan mo pong magpahinga ng at least 1 hour kapag sa regular meals, and sa rest periods naman po, like mga coffee breaks po, 5 to 20 minutes lang po siya, the rest periods are coffee breaks of 5 to 20 minutes except as provided in the implementing rules and regulations. Kapag tawag dito, 5 to 20 minutes kang mag-coffee breaks po dyan. Kung nasa rules din po siya ng isang kumpanya. This meal period may be shortened under the following conditions: when the work is non-manual in nature or does not involve strenuous physical exertion, when there are actual or impending emergencies, or when there is urgent work to be performed immediately. So kapag pag meron kung meron kayong minamadaling kailangan matapos yung trabaho na sa ganitong oras din. And when the work is necessary to prevent serious loss of perishable goods. For night shift differential pay, the labor code grants the right to night shift differential pay and recognition of the discomforts, disadvantages, and dangers of work at night. For night perform an ordinary. Go. So kapag yung employee daw ay kumbaga parang nirequest siya na magtrabaho siya ulit pagkatapos ng kanyang work schedule. Babayaran daw siya ng at least 25%. At tapos may additional din na hindi pa mabalik sa 10% ng kanyang overtime rate sa bawat oras na kanyang simula 10 p.m. hanggang 6 a.m. Employees who are denied for receiving night shift differential pay are the following: those in the government that any awaits political subdivisions, including government-owned or controlled corporations, and those of retail and service establishments, regular employee not more than 5 workers, domestic helpers and persons in the personal services of another, the managerial employees, field personnel and other employees whose time and performance are unsupervised by the employer, including those who are engaged on a task contract basis, and the last, those who are fully commissioned or who are paid a fixed amount for performing work irrespective of the time to show his performance.
Yes po. Next, again, is overtime. Overtime, familiar naman kayo sa word, di ba?
Opo.
A covered employee who works beyond 8 hours on an ordinary working day shall be paid for overtime work an amount equivalent to his regular wage plus at least 25%. So yun nga, sinasabi dito yung kapag naglampas na raw yung isang employee ng more than 8 hours yung work na overtime na yun. So kapag yung regular wage siya, convert to 50, mag-add at least 25% doon sa sahod niya. Next, a covered employee who works on his designated rest day shall be paid an additional compensation as premium pay of not less than 30% of his regular wage. If he works on such a rest day in excess of 8 hours, he shall be paid for an additional 8 hours work plus at least 30% thereof. So yun, for example dito, yung mga likely nagtatrabaho sa mga phone shops, gano'n, kapag rest day ko na rin yung national holiday, tapos nag-work pa rin sila, may additional po na working hours, mag-a-add sila ng 30% doon sa regular wages po. Ay, nalaglag.
So next one is the Philippine Labor Laws Overtime Pay, Employees' Wages, and Benefits. All employees required to beyond 8 hours in one work is entitled to overtime pay. The basis of overtime pay is found in Article 87 of the Labor Code, which states work may be performed beyond 8 hours a day provided that the employee is paid the overtime work. And additional compensation equivalent to its regular wage at least 25% thereof. Work performed beyond 8 hours in the day or rest shall be paid an additional compensation equivalent to the rate for the first 8 hours on a holiday or rest day at least 30% thereof. So, sa madaling salita, ang overtime pay is nakasaad na sa batas. Yan, nakasaad na sa batas. Kaya, kapag ang 8 hours, beyond 8 hours, kailangan dapat mayroon ng additional pay. So, kapag 8 hours, beyond 8 hours, kailangan dapat mayroon ng additional pay. So, kapag 8 hours, beyond 8 hours, kailangan dapat mayroon ng additional pay. So, kapag 8 hours, beyond 8 hours, kailangan dapat mayroon ng additional pay. So, kapag 8 hours, beyond 8 hours, kailangan dapat mayroon ng additional pay. So, kapag 8 hours, beyond 8 hours, kailangan dapat mayroon ng additional pay. So, kapag 8 hours, beyond 8 hours, kailangan dapat mayroon ng additional pay. So, kapag 8 hours, beyond 8 hours, kailangan dapat mayroon ng additional pay. So, kapag 8 hours, beyond 8 hours, kailangan dapat mayroon ng additional pay. So, kapag 8 hours, beyond 8 hours, kailangan dapat mayroon ng additional pay. So, kapag 8 hours, beyond 8 hours, kailangan dapat mayroon ng additional p kapag walang additional pay beyond 8 hours, pwede nang magsubok sa dulo. Kaya iba naman nagsubok sa dulo yun. Kasi mas nakasaad na sa batas ng overtime pay po. So, terminologies. So, overtime pay, madaling sabi, yung overtime is additional compensation. Ibig sabihin, may dagdag pasahod kapag lampas na ng 8 hours yung services of yung work mo. So, kapag i-compute yung overtime pay, dapat i-multiply sa overtime rate with the number of hours in excess of the regular 8 hours of work. So, overtime work na any work performed beyond the 8 hours of work in one day is considered as overtime yun kapag lampas na ng 8 hours. Consider mo siya as overtime work. May additional compensation na sa salary mo. Work day is the consecutive 24 hours period which commence from the time the employee starts to work and ends at the same time the following day. To illustrate, if the employee regular works from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., his regular work day is the 24-hour period from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. of the following day. Work days do not necessarily correspond to calendar days. So yung normal work day ng isang services, yun, ang isang regular employee is dapat nasa 24 hours. Yan. Next is the overtime pay rates. Overtime pay rates depends upon the day the work is performed. Whether it is ordinary work day, special day, holiday, or rest day. So yung overtime pay daw rates is nakadepend sa kung anong oras o kung ilang oras yung pinuperform yung trabaho. Yun. Ordinary working day, an additional compensation equivalent is regular hour rate plus at least 25% thereof. Yun, mayroong 25% additional compensation sa mga regular working day. For holiday, special day, and rest day, an additional compensation equivalent to R for the first 8 hours on a holiday or rest day plus at least 30% thereof. So magkaiba po sila sa overtime pay rates, 25% po yung additional. Meanwhile, sa mga holiday or rest day, add lang po ng 5% which is 30%. Magkaiba po sila.
Yung next again is about naman sa computation of overtime pay. So dito, nilapag dito as example yung minimum wage ay 250. So yung kapag ordinary days siya, kapag isusol, so kapag regular days, yung employee, meron talaga sila nag-exist sila ng 8 hours, yun yung working day nila. So yun, 250 divide 8 is equal to 31.25. Yun po yung magiging bayad nila per hour. So, yun naman, next is how to determine naman yung overtime rate per hour. So, overtime rate is equal to regular rate plus 25% of regular hourly rate. So, yun, OT rate is equal to 31.25 which is yung sigaw natin kanina na per hour nilang sahod. So, yun, 25% of 31.25 or yung 31.25 times sa 1.25, yung sagot niya is 139.6 per hour. Yan na yung magiging sahod kapag may overtime. Apo. Next naman is on rest days and special days. Compute the hour rate of the employees on rest day or special day. Hour rate is equal to 130% of regular hourly rate. So, yun yung 31.25 times 1.30 is equal to 40.625 per hour naman kapag rest day yung magiging sahod nila. Gets po?
Yes po.
Yung 1.30 na ito yung siya ay sa 113%. Kasi kapag percentage, kaya may point na siya, i-convert natin siya into decimal, pa-back lang po yan, 1, 2. Kaya naging 1.30 po siya. Tapos may note dito, the hourly rate on rest day and special day is yun nga, 130% regular rate. So yun to determine overtime rate per hour sa rest days or special days. Ang overtime rate is equal to hourly rate on rest day plus 30% hourly rate on rest day. So yun nga, yung 40.625 which is ito, plus open and close 30% of 40.625 ito yung or yung equal na 40.625 i-times mo siya sa 1.30 magiging sagot niya is yung 52.81 per hour. So yan yung magiging sahod kapag nag-overtime ka sa during rest day or special day sa isang employee. So next naman is the determine ay sa regular holidays. Ang complete hourly rate or regular holidays, ang formula niya ito, hourly rate is equal to 100% naman po. Tapos 31.25, i-multiply lang siya by 2. Yung magiging sagot is 62.50 kapag regular holidays naman ang work ng isang employee. To determine overtime rate per hour naman, ito yung formula. Overtime rate is equal to hourly rate plus 30% of hourly rate. So ito 62.50 ito yung per hour niya. I-add ko lang. Tapos open and close. Kapag may open and close po siya, minumultiply po yan siya. 30% of 62.50 pesos. So ito 62.50 times 1.30. Ang magiging sagot niya is magiging 81.25 per hour na kapag yung isang employee is nag-work siya during regular holidays tapos nag-overtime. Ang rest day naman is fall on regular holidays. Ang hourly rate, yung 60% of regular holiday rate. Yung 31.25 times 2.60, again, kapag percentage po, inumove lang pakaliwa para maging decimal po siya. Magiging 81.25 per hour naman siya. Kung compute the hourly rate is equal to 60% of regular holiday rate. Regular hourly rate is equal to 31.25 pesos. Ito times lang sa 2.60. Ito po yung sagot. To determine overtime rate per hour, hourly rate plus 30%.
Ay, mali. Sana.
Plus bumalik. Yan.
Ito?
Isa pa. Isa pa. Yan. Ay, ito ba?
Ano yan? Overtime rate.
Ito na. So, yun, hourly rate plus 30% of hourly rate. Ito po, 81.25 pesos. I-add lang siya sa 30% of 81.25. Ito, magiging yung sahod mo per hour kapag yung rest day daw na fall sa regular holidays is 625 per hour.
Sa'yo na rin.
So, work need to be continuous. Work performed by the employee need not be continuous as long as it falls within the same work day. So, yun nga, yung work daw ng isang employee, sana, hindi po siya ganun katuloy-tuloy. Pwede po yung, agaya may meal break, ginagawa para hindi siya tuloy-tuloy. Consistent po siya as 8 hours. Kunwari yung isang employee nag-work siya, di ba, may 8 hours lang silang work. Kapag yung nagpasok siya ng 8, pwede yun siya mag-stop, like yung may lunch break, gano'n. Tapos continuous lang, as long as mabuo na isang employee yung 8 hours po. Next is undertime cannot be offset by overtime. Some employers have the practice of offsetting undertime and overtime. For example, if an employee worked for only 7 hours on any given day, 1 hour undertime, he will be required to make up for his undertime by requiring him to render additional 1 hour work on another day. This practice is prohibited under Article 87 of the Labor Code, Bill I. So yun po, yung sinasabi dito, like for example, na-late ka ng 1 hour, pwede mo pa siyang punan, like kunwari yung, di ba, 1 hour, tapos yung stop mo din hanggang 4 lang, hindi mo naabot na late ka, pwede ka mag-add pa ng additional 1 hour daw, like hanggang 5 ka na mag-off, yung dito yun siya, yung sa undertime ka na i-off sa Article 87, undertime not offset by overtime. Undertime work on any particular day shall not be offset by overtime work on any other day. The rationale for provision is quite obvious. Offsetting undertime against overtime is improper because the employee would be deprived of the additional compensation for the overtime work he has rendered. Note that undertime is covered only by the regular hourly rate, whereas overtime is subject to additional overtime rate. If the two are to be offset, the employee loses overtime pay to which he is entitled.
Next.
So yun, emergency overtime work. As a general rule, employees may not be compelled to work in excess of 8 hours or to render overtime work on any given day against his or her will. The exception to this rule, however, is found in Article 89 of the Labor Code. Under the said article, employees may be compelled to perform overtime work in any of the following cases. The first one is when the country is at war or under any national or local emergency. Next, when overtime work is necessary to prevent loss of life or property or in case of imminent danger to public safety. Another one, when there is urgent work to be performed on machines, etc. in order to avoid serious loss or damage to the employer. When the work is necessary to prevent loss or damage to perishable goods, when the completion or continuation of work is necessary to prevent serious obstruction or prejudice to the business, and when the overtime work is necessary to avail of favorable weather or environmental conditions.
Banlin? Sa'yo? Saluin niya. Saluin niya. Pagod na.
So, next is the managerial employee not entitled to employ overtime pay. Article 82 of the Labor Code states that the provisions of the Labor Code and working conditions and rest periods do not apply to managerial employees. This includes overtime pay for overtime work. Thus, managerial employees are not entitled to overtime pay for services rendered in excess of 8 hours a day. Supervisory employees are considered as officers or members of the managerial staff and hence are not entitled to overtime, rest pay, holiday pay. So, yung mga managerial positions or mga managerial employees daw ay hindi sila entitled sa overtime pay.
Kalma ka lang.
Employees who are uniform paid by the month, irrespective of the number of work days therein, with a salary of not less than the statutory or minimum wage shall be presumed to be paid for all the days of the month. A covered employee who is on leave of absence with pay shall be also be entitled to receive holiday day. If a regular holiday falls on a Sunday, the following day, Monday, shall be considered as special holiday for a purpose of the labor code unless it is a regular holiday.
Sige na.
Weekly risk sharing. All employees, whether operating for profit, including public utilities operated by private person, shall provide their employees with a weekly rest day as provided in the labor code.
Next.
As a general rule, the employer may schedule the rest day of his employees as he sees fit. The determination of a weekly rest period may be done through collective bargaining the preferences of the employee as to his weekly rest day. If based on regulations, grant shall be respected by the employer. However, in case of necessity, the employer may schedule the weekly rest day of the employee's choice for only 2 days in a month. The employee shall make known his preference to the employer and writing at least 7 days before the desired effective date of the initial rest day, so prepared. When the weekly rest day is given to all employees simultaneously, the employer shall make known such rest period by means of a writing notice posted conspicuously in the workplace at least 1 week before it becomes effective. When the rest period is not granted collectively, the employer shall inform the employees of their respective schedules of weekly rest through written notice 1 week in advance. An employee who works on his scheduled rest day shall be paid on additional compensation at least 30% of his regular wage. Work performed on Sunday shall be paid on additional compensation of at least 30% of the regular wage. When Sunday is the established rest day or when an employee has no regular work day and no regular rest day can be scheduled. When special work falls on the employee's scheduled rest day, he shall be entitled to an additional compensation of at least 50% of his regular wage. Meals in break period are not be treated against the weekly rest period. Monetary benefits are compensation other than direct wage or incentive pay. Which is the chapter summary. Sinasabi dito, one of the reason why being excellent employees staying in the company because of the compensation package. Kung saan yung compensation package, ito yung insurance, allowance, bonuses, yung nakapalog doon. Kapalit yung mga pagtatrabaho nila. While ang compensation, sinasabi kanina na, ang compensation is yung pagtatrabaho ng employees sa kumpanya, kapalit yung kanilang ang pagtatrabaho nila sa kumpanya, at saka yung pagsahod ng owner ng kumpanya sa empleyado, kapalit yung services. While the benefits, ito naman yung binibigay ng owner sa mga employee niya sa loob ng kumpanya kung saan ito na yung health insurance, with travel allowance, yan sa benefits. The issues about compensation should be top concern. Ito yun yung mga, yung as a owner of the company, kailangan sabihin mo sa empleyado mo na kung paano mo sila sasahuran or kung paano nakukuha yung sahod, yung sweldo ng pagtatrabaho mo sa kanya ng pagiging isang kapalit ng pagiging kapalit ng isang empleyado ng pagiging productive workforce. Then number 3, the term incentive program refers to an official monetary plan designed to motivate and recognize employee performance. So, sinasabi dito, kay bayad na part na ito, kumbaga isa dito yung discrimination sa mga employee kung ano man yung mga sarili na meron sila sa ginagampanan nila sa kumpanya, yung pagiging responsibilities nila, yung efforts perform sa on the job sa trabaho nila, kung ano man yung patas-patas, kumbaga, yung ginagawa nila sa kumpanya, dapat ganun din yung pagpapasahod na meron mo sa kanila, na binibigay mo sa kanila. Isa yun sa mga dahilan kung bakit nagsistay yung isang magaling na empleyado sa kumpanya. That's it.
Tapos na.